I want to kind of emphasize growth and change in life because we all go around talking about how life changes and how you need to grow. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's been a long day. I wanted to share this with you before I retired for the evening. But you got to understand that there's a meaning behind that. Saying that life is full of growth and change is not just a catchphrase, it's the truth. And there are some people in this world who are just stuck in that one period in life. Everybody around them has moved on. Everybody around them has changed, but they're still stuck in that period. And when I hint in previous audios that these people need to seek help, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Because the way they're thinking is affecting everything in their environment. It's affecting what they do and what they don't do. And having that mindset, it can really be detrimental in the long run. This can apply to anything. This could be applied to a job mindset, relationship mindset. This could apply to a family mindset. That person's still stuck in that particular part of the past, constantly, always, then they really need to get some help. They need to get some help from someone. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're involved in a family and something happened maybe 15, 20 years ago. Now you and all the parties involved, you all have grown older. But there'll be, and things have changed, but there'll be that one person, every time you communicate with them, every time you try to reach out to them, they're going back to that particular time in 1992 or that time back in 1997. They always go back to that once you talk to them. They're always talking about something that happened during that time. They don't talk about anything recent or anything like that. Everybody in the whole world can see the differences in everybody else. And that one person will still see what they saw 20 years ago. And it's a scary thing. It really is, having to deal with that. You don't think it's a big deal, but it can be a big deal because they're disconnected from reality, and that's the truth of it. It's like that's probably the last year. If they're stuck on that particular year, that's probably the last year that they actually had an active life. Ever since then, it's been downhill. Psychologically, and more than likely physically, mentally. And that's the last thing that they can recall that resembles living a life. And God forbid if one of you did something you had no business doing, but it's been long since forgiven and gone. Oh, they'll be the first to jump up and talk about it like it's fresh. These people need a lot of help. They do. They need to seek professional counseling. They need to seek some kind of help. Because that level of yesterday is not coming back. It's gone. And we all live in a world where we all get involved in things we don't need to get involved in. We all make mistakes we have no business making. The majority of us will go ahead, learn what we can from them, make our apologies, make our amends, and keep it moving. And you could have 100 people involved in the situation, and 99 of them will see the change and just kind of leave you alone. But there's always that one that's stuck back on that day as if it just happened yesterday. And they're bringing it up. And don't feel bad because it's you. They do that with everybody because they're stuck in that mindset. And we all know that one person that's always stuck back in that time. Even in social gatherings, you could have like a cookout or something, and that person will show up. And that, some of these people, they're reasonably somewhat happy people, but for the most part, they're depressed. And if you know anything about depression, it's a funny thing. Because it's not so much being sad all the time. There are a lot of mood swings involved in depression. They could be amped up super happy one minute, and then the next minute they could be suicidal. So, depression is very, very, very strange, and there's different types of depression to deal with. But I'll talk about that in detail in some future audios. But this particular person, you could have something as lighthearted as a cookout going on, and you've got a mixture of people that are there, and everybody's having a nice, lively conversation, and leave it up to this person to interject with something that happened that one year that they're talking about. Oh, yeah, they could be talking about something that happened last week that they saw on TV. Oh, yeah, I saw the award show last Sunday on TV, and so was on there, and so looked good for his age. Then here come this person and said, yeah, back in 1992, when so-and-so was doing so-and-so, he had so-and-so going on, and blah, 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 blah. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking a trip down memory lane, but it's like once the faucet is open for these people, they do not close it. You got to be careful with them. Every single conversation goes back to that time. Every interaction involves something during that particular time. And they need to seek some help because they need to be brought into the present. So it's not anything to just disregard. It's not anything to be taken lightly, because that part of their brain is not adapted. And it could be a dangerous situation where they're so far into their head, they may not be actively paying attention to what's in front of them, and they may not see things accurately. It could lead to hallucinations. It could just lead to a lot of things. So this is something that requires a lot of counseling and therapy. But we all know that one person who's stuck in 1995, 1992, every time you have a conversation with them. And another thing is they wear clothes that are reflective of that time. They wear their hair, their makeup reflective of that time. They drive vehicles reflective of that time. They live in the same place that they've been living in reflective of that time. So, you got to be careful with these people. They need a lot of help. So that's just something that you guys, that's another form of communication we have to look out for, where we think we need to get people some additional help. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and leave you guys to it. Peace.